Hello, my name is Joe Wayner. I'm the commercial lender here at Health Advantage Credit Union. I'd like to thank you for joining us today in this live commercial loan webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, you can unmute yourself and ask or reach out to me at the conclusion of the webinar. It is important to note that all commercial loans are unique and specialized to the individual and collateral request. I will keep my comments general in nature. If you have specific questions on qualification or on your particular situation, please reach out to me after the event to schedule an appointment. The presentation shouldn't take too long. We'll run through it, and like I said, if you do have any questions, please go ahead and ask. First, I'd like to talk about the different types of commercial loans. We have commercial real estate. This can be owner-occupied, non-owner-occupied real estate. It can be used for residential purposes, or it can be used for commercial and industrial purposes. Then we have equipment loans. This can be as much as a laser machine for an office or a bulldozer for construction. We have a loan for healthcare professionals. This loan helps our doctors purchase practices or expand their practice or buy equipment for their practice. Our minority business owner program is designed to same purposes as the healthcare professional program, just an emphasis on the minority business owner. Lines of credit, very similar to the credit cards where you have an available line and then you can advance on that line of credit depending on your needs and what the limit of the line is. You can do a vehicle loan, not a fleet of vehicles, but if you're looking to purchase a vehicle for your business, we can help with that also. We sometimes use SBA 7A and SBA 504 loans. These are very specific loans. Depending on the situation, we may want to use them or we may not want to use them. Steps to apply for the business loan. First, determine what you need a loan for. I get a lot of phone calls that people just call up and say, hey, I want to know what I qualify for. I can't tell you what you just qualify for. Each loan is very specific to not only you as the borrower, you as the guarantor, but also what collateral you're looking to purchase, whether it's real estate, whether we're using projections or not. So that's something you have to do before you come to me, is determine how much you need and what you need it for. So that puts me into the next. Typically our loans, we're gonna ask that you, depending on the collateral, 10 to 25% down payment. So for an unsecured loan, of course, that wouldn't be the case. There's no down payment required for an unsecured loan. If you need, we may need a business plan with 5-year projections. And that really, again, depends upon you and whether this is an existing business that you've already been in for 10 years, or whether it's a brand new business, or whether you're buying a business. I do loans all the time where people are already in business but purchasing another business and they need a business plan with projections, and the projections need to be very detailed, not just I'm going to make $100,000 a year and I have 50,000 in expenses, so I'll net 50,000. It should be month to month, breaking down for seasonality of whatever business you're purchasing or that you're starting, if you're starting a new business. So you could be starting a business and say, you think you're going to make $5,000 in gross revenue a month. Very rarely have I ever seen a business makes the same amount of revenue month after month after month after month. There usually is some seasonality into it. And so your projections should match that seasonality. All of the information I'm giving you is telling you the stuff you have to bring to me. There are ways you can, obviously online, Googling, but also there's help out at Saginaw Valley. The SBA people out there are really good at writing business plans and doing projections, helping you out, getting you to that point where you can actually apply for a loan. So once you know what you want the money for, what you know how much you're going to need, you kind of have a good idea that you can afford to pay us back. Then you gather the information that we need to apply, and then you call me up and schedule an appointment. I know what you're going to say. What is the information I'm going to need? Well, here we go. The information you need, 3 years personal tax returns, and this should include all pages, all schedules of your personal tax returns. Why do I need personal tax returns? Because we will require you to be a guarantor on the loan also, whether or not, yes, this is a business loan, and the business might be borrowing the money, but then you would personally guarantee the loan also. 3 years of business returns. Obviously, this is if it's not a startup business. If you're purchasing a business, we want those 3 years from that business because we want to determine whether or not that business can sustain itself. Personal financial statement. I have these forms when you're at that point. If you're ready to apply, I try to fill those out with you when we come in. They can get kind of cumbersome and complicated to someone who's not used to and filling them out. So I try to help out with that. If you're purchasing real estate or equipment, I need all the information on that and a purchase agreement. So if you're buying a piece of real estate, having that purchase agreement helps me understand how much you're looking for, and we determine that. Resumes, again, that's really more needed if it's a startup business and if we're using an SBA guarantee, but even some kind of bio on you as the borrower helps us really understand what that you know how to run the business. If you're a hairdresser, say, and you want to go start up a manufacturing company, I'm going to want to understand why you think you can run a manufacturing company, and vice versa. If you've been running a manufacturing company, you want to start up a hairdresser, I'm going to want to know why you think you should be able to do that. Each business, each type of business will have its own characteristics and needs from your expertise in running that type of business. Not everyone can just run any kind of business. So that's what we're looking for there. And then again, a business plan, especially on startups, it's required. We have to have a business plan to know that you know what you're looking for. If you're purchasing rental properties, then a rent roll on that property. Even if you're leasing it to yourself, a lot of people will come in and want to buy a piece of property that they're going to have a real estate holding company own the property, and then they're going to lease it to themselves. So we would need that copy of that lease and and then we do a rent roll to determine what's needed there. The reason we do that, and I guess I can digress back into kind of what we're looking for. We look for any business, any loan, but even a business loan, we're looking for the willingness and ability for you to pay back our debt. That is all we really care about. We want to know that you can pay us back. We want to get paid, and we know that you want to pay us back. So that's why you as a guarantor, we're still looking for a good credit standing. So we want to know that you've been paying your bills on time and that you have a good credit rating, and that helps. That's the willingness part of that, willingness and ability to pay back the debt. So then we look at the ability is really calculating your debt service to determine what your qualifications would be after we now add debt to you. And depending on how much that debt, the monthly payment, I talked to someone earlier today that the monthly payment is going to be $8,000 just for their business loan. So that adds a lot to you. And we look for that from you, whether or not the business stays open. So if the business has to close for whatever reason, we still want to get paid. One of the other things that we look for in the business is, like I said, we really want to make sure that you know what you're looking, you have a grasp of whatever businesses is you want to start. So that's all of my slides. I know I went over a lot of different things, a lot. If anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself, and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Questions?
I just get one.
I can barely hear you.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, I just got one quick question. You mentioned about business plans. I do need a business plan before I even start to try to get or try for a loan. So, what do you know how would I be able to reach? You said Saginaw Valley, so that I can get a business plan.
Yeah, it's the Michigan Small Business Development Center, MSDC. They're out at Saginaw Valley now. They used to be at Delta College, and they have people on staff there to help write a business plan free of charge. So it's a great way to go to start to. And writing a business plan is critical for not to look at it to say I want a business loan, so I have to write a business plan, but to look at it to say I'm writing this business plan to know that my business is successful. I used to own a business here in town, and I wrote a business plan myself. It took me 8 months to write a good business plan. But we needed that to know that would we be able to pay back the debt? You know, we wanted to know for sure too when we were writing the business plan. So the business plan is really more for you to know. A lot of people think, oh, it's a business plan, I don't want to do that. But it's really helpful for you to know to know that you're going to be able to pay back the debt, and that's what you want to do ultimately.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
I didn't. Well, I would like to try to get a commercial loan, but I know I have to take care of some steps first before
Yeah, and that's, I get a lot of calls where people say, hey, I need some direction, and I'm happy to help out as much as I can, but I can't, I'm the one given, approving money, so I'm not really the best one to come with all that stuff ahead of time. So that's where the MCDC really does a good job out at Saginaw Valley.
Okay. All right, thanks.
And then we have the programs that help fund those, though. That's the key to know. They do their little piece of helping you write that plan, and then you come back to us with that, and then we may tweak it or do some things, but that's the one thing that then we can help do that plan.
Okay. Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And do we have any other questions?
No,
Yes,
not right now.
Anyone else?
yes. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. I already have a small business going on right now, but it's not licensed. So in order to get it I guess, help to build my business up bigger, do I need to have it licensed? It's a lawn care business.
It's a lawn care business?
Yes.
Okay. That's a license. A business license you would get if you're a DBA, doing business as a sole proprietor. So you would get just a business license from the the county. So if Saginaw County, you go down to Saginaw County Courthouse, they're not expensive. I think they're $25 or something for 5 years for a business license. You don't need that, okay?
Okay.
I can do a business loan to you as an individual. I can do it to a business. I can do it to an LLC, a corporation. And that's where I say I wouldn't tell you you have to do that or don't have to do that. There's legal reasons that you should contact an attorney for, depending on why you should or shouldn't be incorporated or have an LLC. Again, those are things you can do online at Lara. Also, it's $25 to record your LLC name, but there are specific legal reasons why some people like to have the LLC or a corporation, but you do not have to get a business loan.
Okay.
Now, if you're not reclaiming the income on your tax returns, because you started and did it on the side and you're doing things, and then you've got some, and I've helped people out like this before, where they start their business on credit card debts, because that's the only way they could get the money right away without doing all the steps that's one of the reasons I like this type of a program to talk to you guys about, because it helps you understand you can get the funds without having to go into other types of debt if we do it the right way.
Okay, because it sounds all right. I have some equipment, and some of the equipment I got, right, I had to take a loan out on it. I still make my monthly payments and all that. But my business is growing so large, I need more equipment, and so how can I go about, I guess, just getting I guess, because right now I know if I apply for a loan, they would say I'm overloaded because they don't see the income that I got coming in from my lawn care, because basically, you're right, I started off as just doing something on the side, and it's been growing ever since, and it's steady getting larger. I'm starting to get where I'm have to do more, more acres of land or stuff like that. And the equipment that I got, it takes a lot longer. And it's not just me, I have other people working for me, but if we only got one equipment, I can't utilize everybody at the same time, which cuts into my time and my profit.
Absolutely. You're a perfect example of talking to the MCDC and writing a business plan with projections of how, what you would do with this, how much more revenue would you make if you had more equipment? Okay, and then we can use those projections, and that's what they are, is they're just a guess of how much more money you would make, to then help you qualify for a business loan. And that's kind of the difference between a business loan and a consumer loan. Is a consumer loan can't use projections, right? They just look at your history. This is the last 2 years or 3 years of tax returns, and that's what they use. Where on a business loan, we anticipate that because you are now purchasing more equipment and now you can do more and do it faster, that you'll make more revenue. And that's exactly what the projections do for us.
So I do need to go to what you say, Saginaw Valley, to have a plan written up.
I'm suggesting that's one place that can help people who might not know where to start. Googling it, going out on Google and saying, hey, 5-year projections, Excel spreadsheets. They're out there. I pulled one off the internet to help to give to a member. So there's ways to do it on your own without having to do that. Some people like to do that kind of stuff. And what I found is most entrepreneurs like yourselves, you like to do your work really well, but all that paperwork, I hate it sometimes too, and you're good at your job, but you're not good at the paperwork side. So that's where those people out at Saginaw Valley can really help.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good. Thank you.
Yep. And I'm willing to to sit down with you guys and go through, your specific situation and talk to you anytime. And, as long as, again, I can only help so far without you guys. You got to do a lot of the, some of the work yourself, but I can at least point you in the
Yeah,
right
that
direction.
works. Okay.
Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you all for participating in this. I hope you found it helpful. If you can see the screen, you'll see my contact information. I'm the only Joseph here at the credit union. I'm the only one who does commercial lending here. So if you don't have my specific, you can call our general line and they can set you through to me also. My email is joseph@healthadvantagecu.com. And I'd be happy to sit down with you guys and go over your particular situation anytime.